Create with AI, from idea to reality. Hello, everyone. Over the past several months, as I've stated in my last few videos, I've been engaged in an unexpected journey. It began as an exploration of artificial intelligence, but somewhere along the way, it became an exploration of people. Like many of you, I watched the explosion of AI tools, courses, certifications, prompt libraries, coaching programs, and online experts. Every day there seemed to be a new system, a new method, a new promise. And I'm sure many of you have been caught up in the AI funnels. And yet, despite all of this information, I kept encountering the same observation. Many people were still confused. Many people were still overwhelmed. Many people still didn't know where to begin. At first, I assumed the problem was technical. I thought perhaps people simply needed better tools, better prompts, better instruction. In fact, I wrote 3 AI books, all as a service, a public service found on my website. But over time, I began to realize something different was happening. The issue wasn't lack of information, the issue was too much information and too little participation. That realization became even clearer during a recent conversation I had with a longtime workshop facilitator and personal growth practitioner and yoga instructor. For more than 30 years, she had worked in retreats, workshops, yoga instruction, and personal development. She's thoughtful, experienced, extremely intelligent, and like many people today, she had visited considerable time, she had invested considerable time and money learning about artificial intelligence. As we talked, she shared something that immediately caught my attention. She said, I need someone to sit down beside me and guide me. Then she added, I don't get all this copy and paste stuff. The statement, the statement that she made was simple, but it revealed something profound. She wasn't asking for more information. She wasn't asking for another course. She wasn't asking for more prompts. She was asking for participation. She wanted help creating something real. That conversation stayed with me because when I reflected my own journey with I realized the same thing had been true for me. Because when I reflected on my own journey with I realized the same thing. I did not learn AI through courses. I learned through projects, books, workbooks, websites, videos, white papers, frameworks, real questions, real experiments, real problems. Every project for me became a learning environment. My goal was never to master AI. The goal was to create something meaningful. And along the way, understanding emerged naturally. This led me to another realization. Many people are trying to cross 3 gaps at the same time. The first gap is technology. How do I use these tools? The second gap is creation. How do I turn my idea into something real? And the third gap is confidence. How do I know I'm moving in the right direction? Hmm. Most AI education focuses entirely, almost entirely, on the first gap, the technology gap. But many people are actually struggling with the second and third. They want to create, they want to move forward, they want confidence. And confidence rarely emerges through information alone. Confidence emerges through participation, through building, through experimenting, through creating. One of the most important lessons I learned during this journey is that context matters more than prompts. Most people are searching for the perfect prompt, but meaningful results often come from meaningful context. The more context we provide, our experiences, our goals, our values, our audience, our purpose, the more useful the interaction becomes. The process looks something like this: context, reflection, patterns, meaning, insight, creation. And that sequence applies not only to AI, it applies to learning, teaching, coaching, writing, facilitation, and personal growth. As these observations accumulated, a framework began to emerge. A simple framework, one centered not on technology, but on creation. I called it Create with AI. The idea is straightforward: bring an idea, leave with something real. Not another course, not another certification, not another collection of prompts, a practical process for turning ideas into reality. A book, a workshop, a workbook, a website, a video series, a community initiative, a personal project, something meaningful to you, something real. As part of this exploration, I decided to test these observations further. I shared the emerging framework with another AI system and asked it to evaluate the work independently. What interested me most was not whether it agreed with me. What interested me was what patterns it would recognize. To my surprise, it independently identified the same central themes: human centered creation, context before prompts, AI as a reflective partner, confidence through participation. That convergence was meaningful, not because it proved anything, but because it suggested these observations may reflect something larger than one person's experience. Perhaps they reflect an emerging pattern in how people successfully engage artificial intelligence. And perhaps that pattern is ultimately less about technology and more about human capability. This realization led to the creation of several public resources: a white paper, a workshop online, a facilitator's guide, and a growing collection of field observations documenting what is being learned through real world participation. All of these resources are being offered as a public service because I believe We are entering a period where many people will need practical, grounded, human centered approaches to working with AI. Approaches that support creativity, responsibility, reflection, purpose, and contribution. The technology matters, but the human matters more. And perhaps the most important question is no longer what prompt should I use? Perhaps the more important question is what am I trying to create? Because when intention, context, reflection, participation, and creation come together, something remarkable begins to happen. Ideas become reality. Confidence begins to grow, and people discover that they are capable of far more than they imagined. Thank you for watching. If these ideas resonate with you, I invite you to explore and create with AI resources. Explore the Create with AI resources available through loveisarchitecture.com. Until next time, bring an idea, leave with something real. Bye for now.